Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We kickstarted SQL and in the previous video we saw the basics of SQL. In this video we are going to understand something more about RDBMS, the data types, asset properties in database management system, and the constraints and keys in SQL. So let's get started. First, let's see relational database management system, that is RDBMS. Data is stored in the form of tables, that is rows and columns. If you see this table, we have the column names or the headers as ID, name, location, salary. So these are the attributes and they represents the properties of that table. And then we have the rows in which we have the data. A single row that contains a single record is called a tuple. So this is the tuple. Now let's see what is the schema. So schema is the logical representation of data. Now from this table, say this table name is employee table and these are the headers. So ID, name, location, salary. So this tells us how the structure of this table is. So we'll get to know the attributes and its constraints and the keys, everything through the schema. So schema is the logical representation of data. So these were some important names or important things that you should know, which is the attributes, tuple, schema. Now let's talk about the data types in SQL. So we're going to talk about some basic data types. We have three basic ones: numeric, text, date and time. Let's start with the numeric. And the first one is int, which accepts the integer values. Then we have float and double. Both of them accepts decimal values. Double accepts is more defined when compared to float. Next we have text, in which we have char, varchar and text. So for example, a char and then you give a particular value, say n. So it can accept characters up. It can accept only n characters. For example, if you give here 1, so it will accept 1 character. If you give here 10, it will accept 10 characters. And not less than that, not more than that. Varchar is variable character length. So if you give here 10, so it can accept up to maximum 10 characters. It can also take 5, 6, 7, 1, whatever you want, but maximum limit is 10. And text, it is used for long paragraphs or where long text is there. Then we have date and time. Date, this is the format YYYYMMDD, that is year, month and date. Same for time, HHMMSS, that is hour, minutes, seconds. Then we can combine both of them. It is called date time or timestamp. So these are the basic data types in SQL. Now let's understand the asset properties in DBMS. So these are the properties of database management system. First is atomicity. The entire transaction takes place at once or it doesn't happen at all. What does this mean? So let's take an example for this. We have like 2 accounts, and if this person has to transfer some amount, say 1,000 rupees, this entire transaction will either take place or it won't. That means it never happens that you have to pay 1,000 rupees to someone and we get a message saying 50 rupees sent, 950 left. No, either it will happen or it will get failed. Next is consistency. The data must be consistent before and after transaction. Okay, let's see. So for example, this is A person and this is B. A person is having some 5,000 in his account and B is having some 10,000 in his account. The total is 15,000. Okay, now let's consider a case where A is transferring 1,000 rupees to B. So now A is left with 4,000 after transferring and B has 11,000 after transferring. Now when you do the total 4,000 plus 11,000, it is again 15,000, which means the data must be consistent before and after transaction. This is before transaction and this is after transaction. The next is isolation. Multiple transactions happen independently without interference. Now let's see, there are some more people. They are transferring to this person, maybe this person is transferring to this person, again this person also transferring to this person. So many transactions are happening, but they won't interfere with each other. So that is the meaning of the property isolation, that these transactions happen independently without any interference. And the last one is durability. The changes of a successful transaction occurs even if in case of system failure. So it says that we have such a strong database that even if our database fails, we have lots of backup and we get a successful transaction. So these are 4 main properties: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. They are called as the ACID properties in RDBMS based on their initials. Okay, now let's move on to the constraints and keys. Okay, we'll get back here, but let's understand what are constraints. So constraints are used to limit the type of data that can go inside the table. Okay, let's understand one by one. Now if you see this table, okay, we have customer ID, name, location, then we have contact number, and we have another table: customer ID, email, order ID, product ID. Okay, let me just give some name to this table. Let's say this is the customer table, customer info table, and let's say this is product table, product info. Okay, so these are 2 tables that we have. Okay, and constraints are used to limit the type of data. So it will tell us what type of data will go in these particular columns. Okay, and let's see the types of constraints now. First is not null, that is, null values are not accepted. Then we have unique, that means duplicate values are not allowed. Check, so it is used to apply certain conditions. Default, it is used to set default values. Okay, let me first tell you the basic ones, and then we will understand it through an example. Then we have the 2 important keys: primary key and foreign key. Primary key is unique and not null, and foreign key is used to establish link between tables. We'll understand first not null. Okay, null values are not allowed. Okay, now what are null values? Okay, now something we keeping as blank, or we writing as 0, or we writing as null. Okay, let's understand what are null values. So if you keep anything blank, okay, it means that there is something, okay, and that something is a blank text. Okay, this is considered as text. This 0 is considered as numeric value. Okay, and this null means nothing. So this is the null value. So not null is anything is accepted but not null. Okay, so null values are not allowed. Next one is unique, which means that the duplicate values are not allowed. So in this table, if you see, we have the customer ID, and these are like unique. And or in this table, okay, you have this is the employee table, and the employee has the IDs. So this ID is the unique. Okay, like 2 people cannot have same IDs. Then we have before check and default, let me tell you about the primary and the foreign keys. So primary key, unique and not null. Okay, so if you see the employee table, the ID values are going to be unique as we saw earlier, and you are not going to keep any value as null. So this is going to be the primary key. Then we have the foreign key, which is used to establish link between data. Now, when you see these 2 tables, we have customer ID, name, location, contact number, and then we have the customer ID, email, order ID, and product ID. So in these 2 tables, we can create a link through a foreign key, and we will understand that in our upcoming videos, but I'm just giving you an overview. Okay. Next is the check constraint, which is used to apply certain conditions, and then we have default to set default values. So these are the types of constraints that we have in SQL. For this, we are going to take one example. Okay, so here we are creating a table. It is done by writing a command create table and then table name. So here students is our table name. Okay, now will tell us what are the attributes that our table is going to have. So we'll have roll number, name, age, gender, city. Okay. Now we'll see what type of constraint this roll number will have, or all the attributes will have one by one. Okay. So this roll number is going to accept integer values only. So we are using int data type, and this is going to be a primary key because no two students will have same roll number. Okay, we are done with this. Next, let's go to name. Okay, so name, we are going to use varchar as our data type, that is variable characters, and we're going to put some limit, say 20. So the name that you put cannot be greater than 20 characters. So it will accept up to 20 characters. For example, your name is Priyanka. That means 8 characters. It will store in the 8 characters, rest would not be used. And I don't want this name to be null. So I'm going to use a constraint called as not null. Okay, so we have understood what not null is. Next is age. Okay, so this age is again an integer value. You are either 15, 16, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, 56, whatever your age is. So age, I'm going to accept integer values, and we are going to apply a check. Okay, so as we have seen here, check is used to apply certain conditions. So I'm going to check whether the age is greater than 0. I don't want anyone whose age is less than 0. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, this is the check constraint. And then I'm using, next we have the gender char 1. Okay, so it will accept only those values whose character is 1. Okay, so that is the gender. Next, I'm going to put city to varchar 20 and default Pune, which means if you don't put any city, or if it is like no value is given to the city, then by default it will write as Pune. So that's it about all these. I think we have understood all these types. We've also understood what primary key is. Foreign key we'll see later. Now let's see some different other types of keys. So we have super key, candidate key, alternate key, composite key. We should know about them. We don't use it obviously, but let's understand what these are. Okay, one by one. So let's go start with the super key. Super key is the combination of one or more columns that uniquely identifies each record. Okay, so you can see this is similar to primary key because it uniquely identifies or defines each record. So if you see here, the customer ID, contact number, or the combination of both are super keys. If you see in this table, the customer ID and email are super keys, and the combination of both is also super keys. Okay. The next is candidate key, minimal super key. So if you see here, these are our super keys: ID, email, okay. Minimal is like minimal. These so here it could be the ID is the candidate key, or the email is the candidate key. In this case, the contact number is the candidate key. So these are the candidate keys. Okay. Next one is the alternate keys. So candidate key not chosen as primary key is the alternate key. Now, candidate keys have the possibility. So all these have the possibility to become the primary key. Okay. Now, if ID is chosen to be the primary key, the next two remaining, that is email or the contact number, are the alternate keys. Okay. The next one, let's see, is the composite key. A composite key is a primary key that consists of 2 or more columns. Now, for example, if we want to make a composite key for this, it could be customer ID and order ID. Okay. So yeah, that is the composite key. So these are the types. These are the things that we have understood. So I hope it was easy to understand the data types, asset properties, SQL constraints, and keys. If you found this useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.